feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
I will tell you, even though I think y'all, if I tell you this, y'all gonna assume something that I'm not saying. There was supposed to be some new music today. I'm not saying from who, nor am I gonna confirm if it was from either party that we've been really interested in. The plan of releasing that got foiled today after some really serious news came out. If you guys don't know, there was a shooting at Drake's house this morning. A shooting where his security guard was hit in the chest in what's being called a drive-by. His security guard was rushed to the hospital. His condition, at least last I checked, still unclear. I'll play you a couple of videos to kind of catch you up to speed in case, some way, somehow, you haven't seen the information.
Showing up on the first page of Google?
Whoa, I'm getting ads. What's going on? What's squatting, Crow? Squatting, Crody. All right, let's go. I'm going to speed up slightly a bit.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and we do have some breaking news that we want to get to. This is some aerial footage of the house from Drake. This is the rapper Drake right there. This is his house in Toronto. There was a shooting that happened earlier outside Drake's Toronto home, and one person was injured in this. According to TMZ, sources confirm the injured person is a member of Drake's security team. Now, police have yet to say if they believe the shooting is related to the Kendrick Lamar feud. Drake and Kendrick Lamar have been feuding for quite some time, releasing diss tracks against one another. But again, police have revealed the victim suffered a gunshot wound to the upper chest, and it does appear to have been a drive-by attack. Also, there has been impact across the Atlantic. In London, someone reportedly vandalizing Drake's store, spray painting, quote, "They not like us" on the store's front window. That graffiti inspired by Kendrick Lamar's latest diss track drop, quote, "Not like us." And just a short time ago, we were hearing from Canadian authorities as they shared the very latest in this shooting, and I do want to play that for you right now.
And I'm one of the media relations officers for the Toronto Police Service. Speaking today is Inspector Paul Krawchuk of our Integrated Gun and Gang Task Force, which investigates all shootings and firearm discharges within the city of Toronto. Inspector?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Inspector Paul Krawchuk of the Integrated Gun and Gang Task Force, and I'm pleased to be here today. I know there's a lot of interest in this incident, and I hope you can also appreciate that information is very limited at this time, so I only have so much. What I do know, I will advise you of, and I will take a few questions at the end. This morning at about 2 a.m., police were called to a shooting at the residence behind me here. When officers arrived, they located a male who was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. That male was taken to hospital in serious condition. That person was working, apparently, as a security guard at the residence. He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred. We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time. Again, it's very early on in the investigation. I cannot speak to a motive at this time because it's so early, but as we get information, we will share it with you. Anyone with information is asked to call 416-808-2510 or Crime Stoppers. You can expect to see an increased presence in this neighborhood for the next little while, but it's no different than any other shooting or firearm discharge. We'll have officers here looking for witnesses to come forward, as well as we canvassing for video. I'll now take a few questions.
Was Drake home, and is he cooperating with this investigation?
I cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time the incident occurred, but I can tell you that we are in contact with his team and they are cooperating.
To what extent is the rat beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar part of the investigation or focus?
So I am aware of what you're talking about, but it is so early in the investigation that we don't have a motive at this time, and so I cannot comment further on that.
While the motive may not be confirmed, if that is something that you're looking at, knowing that this beef crosses borders into the U.S., is there anything being done in the investigation to maybe prevent a potential suspect from leaving Canada?
So this is no different than any other investigation, okay? Like, it's maybe more high profile because there's more people here, but we treat it like any other incident. So we'll be using all our resources. Our teams will be doing as much as they can to investigate this, but it'll be no different than any other investigation at this time.
The man who was shot still in serious condition. Have you been able to talk to him? Has he not been able to give you a suspect description? And how is there no video yet of the car that fled?
So I can tell you that all I'm going to say about the victim is that he's still in the hospital in serious condition.
Age?
And I'm not going to no, I'm not going to do it this time.
This is obviously a very well-to-do neighborhood. There's likely a lot of video around. Have you guys begun your canvassing? Do you expect to get a good amount of video involved with this?
I would be surprised if we didn't. I can say that we've already collected some video evidence which captures the incident.
You said suspects plural. Can you say, are we talking 2, 3, or more?
No idea at this time.
And would you characterize this as drive-by shooting, or more specifically, did they stop and open fire?
I'm not going to get into specifics about the investigation at this time, just that a vehicle was involved and then fled the scene. That will be part of our investigation, but again, we're very early on.
How did the 911 call come in? Who made it?
I don't have that information.
Was this security guard alone? Were there other security guards here too?
I don't have that information.
In the incident, did it look like the security guard was the target? Were they trying to get past him?
Don't know at this time.
You said you have video capturing the incident?
Yes.
The actual shooting?
Yes.
And you can't give us a description of the vehicle?
Nope, not at this time.
Because you don't want to release it?
No, because we're dealing with video quality issues, correct? So we, as we have information and we're able to analyze video better, then we'll be able to provide more information.
You mentioned that the shooting occurred outside the gates, but there are markers inside near a garage, and there's an area cordoned off there. Would shell casings have gone that far? Why would that be?
I haven't even walked up to the scene, so I can't comment. Oh, thank you.
Do we know how many shots were fired?
No, that's going to be part of the investigation. Can't comment at this time. Thank you very much.
Gang-related?
All right, so we were just listening as authorities provided the very latest information after a security guard was shot outside the rapper Drake's house right there. And this is aerial footage of his home in Toronto. You can see it is a very large residence.
Do you, from your experience, know if people always go to the police if they are feeling threatened or if they have been threatened?
Most people do. Most people aren't threatened, I think, but the higher profile you live,
Okay. All right. So let's lay out a few basics, right? So Drake lives on Bridle Path. And it's this really affluent, rich neighborhood, but one of the only things that's missing about where he lives at is that, number one, his house reportedly is worth $100 million, right? There's other houses worth $60 million in the same area. It's a very affluent neighborhood, but it's not gated. So essentially, if you put in your GPS, you could drive to Drake's house, right? There's nothing stopping you. Now, of course, Drake has built the house like a fortress, and he's basically built these high walls. From what I last saw, Drake is the only person supposedly in Canada that's he breaks like every restriction that Toronto has in terms of code violations, in the sense of, hey, you can't have a wall this tall, or you can't have this, blah blah. They allowed him to kind of break a lot of rules, and you got to imagine, you have Drake still living within city limits, you're gonna allow him to do a few things. If you've never seen the house, this is the house right here.
First swim of the summer, first time ever in the pool, actually, to be honest. This is my first time ever out here. I hope everybody in the city is just enjoying a beautiful day.
Now, this is what Drake calls the embassy, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Not only that, if you're wondering how it looks from like the outside of it, this is a good
When you
thing.
go to see Drake's house, you might end up seeing.
So essentially, you have security on the inside, but then there's these huge gates and also trees that's kind of blocking you from seeing directly into the property. The only way you can really see into the property is literally with a helicopter or overhead drone. But there's usually security. This is how you enter. There's usually security around here. They open and they close the gates, so they have to let you in. And, I seen someone ridiculously in the chat say, why was security standing outside at 2 o'clock? Yes, security stands outside the guy's house all day, every day, night, rain, sleet, snow. Come on, it's 24-hour security.
Drake.
Son, I could get you satisfaction.
Okay.
Son, and we out here.
Well, the most important thing I was trying to show you.
I'm gonna show you how to get it. It go right.
And by the way, that's actually Drake going into the house. But I want to show you the security guard you're gonna see like here in a second.
Left foot slide, left foot up, right foot.
We don't get copywritten. Yeah, so it looks like all right. So this is the security here. You get what I'm saying? And by the way, if you're wondering why there might be security outside the gate, it's also Drake's house is a tourist attraction. You want to prevent people from parking up down the street, just sitting there doing a lot of goofy shit, which could become a security risk. So you kind of want to have somebody outside of the gates as well, not only inside the gates, outside the gates as well. So it makes perfect sense why someone might be outside. Why security guards just stand outside. And again, they're on 24/7 watch, right? Okay. I've heard a lot about what this is. By the way, Drake is not, when they say Drake is cooperating, it means that, by the way, they're dealing with his team, so it's not Drake himself. It means, yeah, if the police are investigating, they're not going to tell the police to fuck off. There's a man who got shot that has a family. They're probably going to be like, yeah, of course, you could come in and look around, go canvass the fucking place to find some bullet holes or whatever case in that could help you out with y'all investigation. That's not, when we hear cooperating, we think snitching, like telling. That's not what that is. But, again, you got to cooperate to a certain extent, right? A crime got committed and it got committed on your property, right? So that's about it. I'll tell you this. I have spoken with Drake, and he's okay. He said he's good. Nothing more than that, nothing less. Obviously, there is someone who's probably still, battling for their life and, got shot at his house. But if you're wondering, Drake himself, he's fine. And I think that's short and sweet. Nothing more needs to be said. In reality, I'll kind of, these are unsubstantiated, I can't even speak now. These aren't rumors that have been verified, so I want you to take it as this. But the streets is talking. From what I'm hearing, this got nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. The timing is interesting because he's in a feud with Kendrick Lamar. But this has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick didn't send some hitters, and obviously he's going to get reported as such. But there's things brewing and things happening that seem to be involved, allegedly surrounding the situation. Things that I won't really pinpoint on this public forum because I don't necessarily want it to give it legs, especially if it happens to not be true. But what I'm hearing, this wasn't random. I'm hearing that, which not only hearing that this is actually a fact, there was a shooting that occurred about 10 minutes before, about less than 2 miles from here. Okay? So there's about 2 miles from here, and keep in mind, this isn't like the fucking hood, right? This ain't like Southside Chicago. This is a rich neighborhood that doesn't see violence and doesn't see gunfire. And also in Canada, it's kind of almost damn near illegal to have a gun, right? So like you're not going to be with a gun. So when you hear that 2 incidents of gun violence occurred within 2 miles and 10 minutes, they seem to be possibly related. Now, at the other incident, we haven't heard the police speak much about it. They actually haven't even officially connected it. That's why they haven't really spoke on that one. But there was another person shot 10 minutes like before, 2 miles away. Again, just keeping it light. I've heard that, and there's some people who are smart enough in here to probably like, I'm hearing this shit got nothing to do with what you think it does, but it do got something to do with what you think it was. So let's keep it at that, and let's not create any suspects or blame any people on the stream. Okay. Kind of interesting though, because until this point, violence did not seem to be remotely within the picture between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And obviously I'm telling you this has nothing to do with that. However, the fact that violence is even happening or within the vicinity of one of these guys has has made the back and forth and just rapping seems kind of trivial at this point. Do you get what I'm saying? Right?
A security guard.
Let me see if I could. What was the other video I was going to show? Now, the interesting thing about this is that obviously Kendrick Lamar's single cover is Drake's house. People are wondering, did he encourage a fan? I'm telling you, I'm hearing this is no fan thing. This isn't some random overzealous, they not like us type of fan. We've seen what happened, and what's happening throughout the world as this song, Not Like Us, is kind of going crazy. It's actually expected to be #1 next week. What we've seen is that in London, at the OVO store, they have vandalized the OVO store. Someone spray painted on the glass, they not like us. So clearly, there's fans who are kind of like taking this whole thing into their own hands and kind of probably having fun with it. And, again, we know at times fans can get carried away, but we're seeing some ramifications of this. Again, these things got nothing to do with and are not connected to what happens at Drake's house. But it is interesting to note, this is the second event surrounding anyone in this whole situation that perceived violence has occurred. If you guys don't know, Cash XO, there was a security guard shot outside his $12 million mansion. I don't know if you guys
Still
remember that.
trying to piece together exactly what led up to a shooting outside a music executive's house.
Security guard was rushed to the hospital, and the armed suspects are still on the loose. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes joins us from Encino, where the crime took place. Rob?
Yeah, the hunt is on for those 3 suspects. They took off after shooting a security guard several times. Now, the mansion where this all went down is right down this long driveway. It is the home of a successful hip-hop music producer.
The Encino home must have seemed like a good target, a 7-bedroom, $12 million mansion. But whoever tried breaking into it may not have expected to find a security guard on the property. And LAPD says the suspects opened fire on that guard, shooting him several times.
And the wait time for any police officer to come is about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and these people just need 10 to 15 minutes to come in and leave your house.
Neighbors are clearly frustrated, saying break-ins and burglaries here have been taking off. We did a data dive into the latest crime stats and found that burglaries in LAPD's West Valley division are up 30% since 2019.
Yeah, I know in the past year 3 break-ins have happened. It's a gated community. Our walls are like 15 feet high, so it's kind of scary that they can just figure out ways to jump over these walls and enter your property like that.
In this case, LAPD says it is now searching for 3 men who were behind the shooting. It happened around 2:30 this morning. The security guard said to be in his 30s, no word on his condition.
The shooting in that situation happened at 2:30 a.m. The shooting in Drake's situation happened at 2:10. It's an interesting coincidence, right?
Mansion in question, owned by this man, Amir Esmailian, a music producer known in the industry as Cash XO, who worked with hip-hop stars like Travis Scott and The Weeknd. One woman who lives in the neighborhood says despite the shooting, she isn't worried about crime here.
It's a very safe neighborhood. I feel very safe running in it. I'm sure it's something related to whoever the owners were.
Now, if you have any information that could help lead investigators to the suspects in this case, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers. The number is on your screen. It's 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477.
So yeah. Now here's the thing: when that first got reported, just to be very clear, I think everybody, even though keep in mind Drake push-ups lyrics, right? A lot of y'all probably never knew who Cash was, right? Every people within the know would know who that is, but a lot of people didn't know who Cash was. But he was mentioned on Drake's song. Let me see, where is it? Why can't I find the lyrics? Yeah, these motherfuckers start putting shit in Talking about in Espanol, like, no, nigga, just show me in English. Drake push-ups. Okay. Drake mentions Cash in this lyric when he says, yo, hey, I'm the sixth god and I'm the front runner. Y'all nigga manager was Chubb's little blunt runner. Now he's talking about Cash. Claim the sixth and you boys ain't even come from it. And when you got rich, you had to run from it. Cash blowing able bread out here tricking. Shit we do for bitches, he doing for niggas. Jets, whips, chains, wicked, wicked, wicked. Spend it like you trying to fuck, boy, you tripping. Now, you know, again, I'm keeping it light here. This is not Warren Chirac, people. This is not that. So I got to keep everything light. Supposedly the word is, you know, Cash be moving with them niggas. You get what I mean? And shit, when you moving with the wolves at times, you might have to, you know what I mean? Might have to put a chain around one of these wolves' neck, man. You know what I mean? So, again, that's what Drake's alluding to. But he brought Cash into this, right? We saw the whole shooting at his house, and we're like, this probably, which we're still going to say is unrelated. However, the timing and even how both of these shootings got done, crazy coincidence. However, then we get Drake, which, by the way, this is interesting. After the shooting at Cash's house, Drake gets on Family Matters, and he kind of eerily,
maybe in this song,
eerily brings up back what he was talking about when, you know, obviously Weeknd had sung on We Still Don't Trust You, saying your shooter's doing TikToks, and Drake kind of addresses that, and the way he addresses this is like really dark. And I think this is like a hearse or something of the sort. But he addresses it over like this drill beat in a dark, like fish-eye type of way. Look.
Really trying to keep it. Yeah. Let's stop playing around and take this shit serious, like. Niggas is a joke, I take it serious though. Yeah. Look. If Drake shooters doing TikToks, nigga really shooting in your gang, that's peace, brother. Y'all ain't getting shit shot, nigga. Can't listen to the stick talking falsetto, saving for a hip hop, nigga. You don't even be at home, dog. You a souvenir out the gift shop, nigga. Still mad about that one hoe. We ain't even fuck, I just lip lock with her. I get active when it's wartime. I ain't even really let my dick drop, nigga. What the fuck I heard Rick drop, nigga. Talking something about a nose job, nigga. Ozempic got a side effect of jealousy and doubt. I never told y'all niggas. Put a nigga in the bars, let a nigga rock, kinda like your old job, nigga. House sitting on some land, but it's out where no one even really know y'all niggas. Bitches gotta drive 2 hours for you pay them just to give a blowjob, nigga. Must've started up a snowball, cause my last record deal was 400 M's. These days, that's a low bar, nigga. Hey.
And then he gets at the Weeknd again.
Who's next on the list? Which one of my so-called niggas? Which one of my so-called niggas? Which one of my so-called niggas need a sheriff on the clip? Always knew I had to smoke y'all niggas. Good kid, Mad City van, we'll pot the latch and make the door slide. Tears running down my cheek, laughing at you pussy dying, it's a war cry. Weekend music getting played in all the spots where boys got a little more pride.
Okay.
That's why all your friends dip into Atlanta paying just to find a tour guide. Spots where boys got a little more pride. That's why all your friends dip into Atlanta paying just to find a tour guide. Able run your fucking bread, need to buy some more chains for some more guys. Let me find another street nigga.
That's another dig at Cash and Weeknd, basically saying these guys are running around and paying either extortion fees or paying to get protected, right? Like that's kind of clear in what he's alluding, right? Like you hear him says, "Let me find another street nigga I could take to the game courtside." Now it makes sense his other rhyme when he says, the one on push-ups when he says, "Cash out here blowing able bread tricking. Shit we do for bitches, he doing for niggas." You would take a girl to the game, right? They're saying that Cash is bringing street dudes to the games, and also they believe that the street dudes is kind of like extorting them a bit. You get what I mean?
Hey, who's next on the list? Which one of my so-called niggas? Which one of my so-called niggas? Which one of my so-called niggas need a sheriff on the clip? Always knew I had to smoke y'all niggas. good kid, Mad City van. We'll pot the latch and make the door slide. Tears running down my cheek, laughing at you pussy dying. It's a war cry. Weekend music getting played in all the spots where boys got a little more pride. That's why all your friends dip into Atlanta paying just to find a tour guide. Able run your fucking bread, need to buy some more chains for some more guys. Let me find another street nigga I could take to the game courtside. Let me get a used Ferrari for a rapper, take the nigga on a horse ride. Anything to take a spotlight off the fact the boss is a drugged out little punk sissy from the north side. Rock him talking shit again. Gas cause you hit my being first, nigga. Do the math. Who I...
Okay. Now, that's really the relevant part. Where clearly Drake is, taking his shots at The Weeknd and Cash. And I'll just chalk up both of these incidents as coincidences, and unfortunate, obviously, too. But I'll chalk it up as coincidences. But I'll tell you this. What I've realized about this feud, number one, I have a theory about all this. Y'all want to hear the theory? I think what we or most people have believed is this I think the industry got tired of Drake a bit. But I do believe that, and I've told you guys this before, this entire thing was orchestrated by XO, in my opinion. Now, I'm talking about music right now. This is music we're talking about. I believe that The Weeknd and Drake has always had issues, right? I believe it was always pacified because both of them had shared people in common. I believe at a certain point that stopped being the case. And apparently they patched it up a bunch of times. But then what happened was XO made the call. And making the call, made the play with Future and Metro. A lot of people keep thinking Drumline Metro is making the shots or hitting the button to get Drake on out of here. Come on. That nigga could be in Drumline 3. No. That comes from a more powerful entity, which XO is that. They're not only a label, they have a management arm, which both of the guys who did the We Don't Trust You album fall underneath. Future and Metro have alignment and ties. I think both of them are like managed by XO. That's why it's not that out of the ordinary that on We Still Don't Trust You, The Weeknd finally appears. By the way, I think he did background vocals on the first one. But he appears with like a verse where he's singing and he's singing to this. So I've contended that XO, it's always been XO versus Drake. Okay? Now, they recruited Kendrick as a mercenary. I don't think Kendrick came to be clicked up. They looked around saying, well, Future can't rap with him. He could out-hit him, but he can't rap with him. Metro, what are you going to do? Beat on the desk at lunch? Like, he can't do. What is he going to do? Okay, Rocky, I don't think he could handle that. And I think they recruited the right mercenary. Kendrick Lamar. The guy that kind of a lot of people in the industry knew he wanted to do Drake in for a while. No Diddy. They recruited the mercenary. Everybody else, and what I'm contending is that the plays start from XO. Now, if we are in belief of this, right? If we're in belief of this, and also, real quick, I do want to debunk something. I want to debunk something because I seen Metro the other night. You know, ever since Not Like Us dropped, like everybody's like the boldest they've ever been. He could be telling the truth, but I thought about something and I realized it was kind of media propaganda, or at least on face value, it did sound like it. Now, once I seen Metro put up this, right? And he said, I'm lame, but the first week after like that, you try to block it at radio. I've been sitting on this email for a month now, but I was been sitting on this email for a month now, but was sparing you. Oh, you ain't like that record? Now, this is again coming from somebody from Universal Music Group. This is actually a Republic, actually, but they use the same email. Everything is at UMusic. And essentially, they're telling Epic Records, which is Future's label, yo, we're not granting radio rights for like that. Now, Metro is calling this a cease and desist, but it also, you know, in hindsight, as I'm thinking about this, this most likely has nothing to do with Drake. And I'll explain why. So Metro is on Drake's label, Republic. Future is on Epic. What happens that I think a lot of people don't realize when labels do a joint album, it's kind of almost negotiated and decided already how this album is going to come out, who's going to control what of the album, what rights or whatever. And because, you know, the masters individually for the artists is owned by different labels, and unless they come together for a group to create some new shit, the rights of these artists are constantly being, you know, it's a back and forth thing. But also the funding of the album as well. The reason why I never believed this one, that Drake was trying to stop this record, I believe that if Drake, I believe the record would have never came out. My personal opinion. I think if Drake was trying to stop the record, it would never came out. I'm going to tell you why this also doesn't make sense that Drake was trying to make sure it didn't get to radio. If anybody knows, right? Let's go to Future. Let's go to Future and let's Metro Boomin. Let's go to Metro Boomin's YouTube. And again, I could be wrong, so I'm just giving y'all my opinion, but it is what it is. Okay, is this Metro Boomin's? All right, what the fuck? All right, let me go to Future. I guess it's on Future's YouTube. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah, all the videos are on Future's YouTube. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let me see. Do we? Okay. Now, if we look at this email of when it was, this is April 1st, right? This is April 1st, 2024. Here's my thing that I'm contending. And I could be wrong, but this is why I think Drake had nothing to do, right? When an album drops most of the times, especially if you're going to have a rollout and you already had songs picked, you've already allocated budget. So here's my point. I won't drag it out too long. They dropped the album, and they clearly had a budget for Type Shit. That was the number one single. They're going with Type Shit as the number one single. So they make a video for it. Who knows how much the video costs? They're going to have a budget, crazy budget for that. If you're going to have them do a video for it, you're going to probably have money for radio, promotion, all these other ancillary things. Keep in mind, Type Shit was supposed to be the record. What does that mean? A label is spending on that record already, right? Then they already probably had planned that the Weeknd joint was going to be the next record, right? Or was this dropped this might have been dropped on the second album, was it? I can't tell. Anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is that the email makes sense if we're thinking about it like this. Yo, if we spent $1 million shooting a video, we're already going to radio with one song. We get it that the internet is saying, oh my God, Kendrick went crazy, but we didn't pick this song as a single beforehand. We can't stop promoting this that we're trying to get to radio to push something else at radio because, bro, we're wasting money. You get what I'm saying? Now, do I believe that a label would just never push it to push like that to radio? I think they would have at some point. But like that kind of did step on their other records, right? Like that stepped on this one with The Weeknd and the one and Type Shit to a certain extent. So that's why I could understand that conversation happening, right? Because look, why spend the money to shoot videos for this shit if you're not even gonna have a video for it like that? There's not even a video yet for like that. There's no video for like that, and it's the biggest song. So I would probably think that for whatever reason, before these albums came out, They picked the singles. That wasn't on the singles list, at least to come out. And thus, once they start spending money on other shit, it's like, yo, whoa, I know the internet is saying we got to run with this now, but we're already spending money on that. Let's either wait or whatever. Anyway, I could be wrong, but that's just a theory. Okay. Interesting. All right. What the fuck is this?
Drake eyebrows about strong as a bitch. He get too.
Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, so obviously the shooting at Cash's house, the shooting at Drake's house is eerily similar. Again, I believe this is some, and this is as much specific I get. I believe there's some Toronto shit. Whatever the politics is there is that. It's nothing to do with essentially a rap beef. That's some Toronto politics shit. And possibly, maybe that was somebody sending Drake a very powerful message. Nigga, I don't know who you think you are, but it could go down. Right? That's what I would take from that. All right? Okay. What are y'all talking about? Somebody said, Ak, you're compromised. Hey, speaking of which, maybe I am compromised. Chat, I do got the compromised t-shirts for sale, man. Come on, man. You ain't gonna name drop me on the record. I take advantage of it. Compromised t-shirts right now, chat. theacademy.com or theacademy.shop. Compromised. When you can't fight the allegations, you got to lean into it. Can't fight the allegations, lean the hell into it. All right? So, y'all niggas go check this out. Matter of fact, anybody who cops one while we're on stream, I'll give you a nice little shout out. All right, yeah. For the people who are still asking me, to spell it out, brother, just come the fuck on. Somebody said Drake put, no. Me and Drake, first of all, me and Drake would never talk street shit. Me and Drake would never talk street shit. Me and Drake would never talk about a possible crime. I know my place. I talk about music. I like to hear about music releases. I am not asking Drake, yo, who shot at you, bro? What the hell? No, our conversation would never be like that. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people from Toronto has hit me, giving me their idea of what's going on and basically saying, yo, some of this shit, this is word on the street, right? Again, they've told me much more than that. I'm just not comfortable with even repeating some of that shit because that is just, I'll just leave it at that.